Hey guys, welcome back to another F1 2021 video. It is round 2 and we have just come off the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season opener for season 4, with a whole bunch of twists and turns, a penalty at the end of the race that was caused right there with what was deemed severe contact under a safety car with Pierre Gasly, resulting in a 5-second penalty, which ended up costing us the victory. Victory going to Daniel Ricciardo for the first race. We end up on the podium in a good third place finish for the first race of the season. So a good start for us in terms of the Drivers' Championship. And also the Constructors as well. Michael Schumacher also getting some points, I think, in that race. Before we get into it, make sure you to like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It would really help me out. But let's get straight into these facilities and just prepping for the next race. So as I said earlier, getting into round 2 at Imola. There's not a whole lot left we can do on the car. We're just basically tying up a few loose ends. Ultimate fuel efficiency upgrade that needs to go on. Powertrain, our one is the worst in the lot out of all the teams. But once that fuel efficiency upgrade goes on, we will be, I do believe, second or third best, and it should be able to go on before the next race. If we get all upgrades on, we'll have the best car in the field. We pretty much already do. It's a bunch of durability upgrades, I think, as well, that we need to go on to the car. We have one more powertrain upgrade as well, but there is a supplier upgrade which won't be coming onto the car for a little while now. So as long as we can get we've got another couple of powertrain ones that we've got in the works, which will hopefully be on before the next race as we advance through the time. Durability department, event, basically all these events we're trying to do now, we are, if we can, trying to boost. We're not really focusing so much on cash, on facility morale and stuff like that. We've pretty much done everything we can with most of the facilities, most of what we can do. A lot of what we're doing now is just making sure we can make enough money to keep Michael Schumacher in the team for the rest of the season, so we can renew his contract at the midway point of the season, and also making sure that he is in peak driving condition as the last of our upgrades go on. We have no more resource points. We've used every single one of our resource points, and every upgrade, every powertrain upgrade that we could have done has gone onto the car. So now we have a car that is as good as we can get it right now. As we cross the line, our first proper run in qualifying, good enough for P6. Schumacher at this point is sitting P2, so car is doing really well. As we come around, we followed on from that lap to improve by almost 5 tenths. Good enough for 4th place, so Schumacher still in P2. We run around a little bit longer, but we're running a little bit low on the fuel. So we pushed on. We had enough fuel to do one more lap.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Yep, there we go. Jeff basically just tells us with 1 lap of fuel left in the car. So we are running as light as possible. Purple through sector 1. So that little bit of lost weight there, enough to help us out. We did lose a little bit of time on the exit out of the long hairpin left. We managed to gain it back in sector 2. We got green through sector 2. We're up 3 tenths heading down into the final couple of corners. We run a little bit wide, but we managed to pick it up on the exit of the final corner. Full speed all the way down to the line. We cut the corner a little bit, and we do go pole at Imola. Purple through sector 3. Sector 3 we can go purple. We were doing the same thing in practice as well. So there we have it. P1 and P3 for Cross GT Racing heading into round 2 here at Imola. hopefully we can come away with a decent points haul so that we can keep on pushing forward in the championship standings.
Hello there and welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation of being a sensational event here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A lap of Imola, anti-clockwise of course, unlike most of the Formula One circuits, will take our drivers around 3.1 miles of track. 19 turns, 9 right-handers and 10 left. Drivers will need to be precise at the hairpin at turn 7, given the subsequent uphill section. Without a good exit from that corner, they'll lose a lot of time on that stretch. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. The captain lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Michael Schumacher, Russell, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Ocon, Gasly, Ricciardo and Sergio Perez, Norris, Sainz, Lewis Hamilton and Stroll, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Robert Schwartzman and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi, Lundgaard, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin.
So there is the driver grid lineup for today. We will be doing a 2-stop, so we're going to be starting on the softs and then onto the mediums and then softs again at the end. Tyre wear upgrades are going to play a factor in this race. We did have some decent tyre wear numbers in practice and quali, as we're off and away for round 2 here at Imola. And Michael Schumacher with an amazing start goes straight through up into P1. Bottas takes over P2. Russell tries to go up the outside of us at the first corner, or turn 2 I should say, but can't quite get it done, and we settle into P3. Schumacher with an amazing start now leads this race. Bottas has maintained P2, but Cross GT Racing drivers have swapped roles and Schumacher decides he wants to take the lead of this race. So both sitting in the top 3, which is good for us. We just need to hold on to the coattails of these guys up at the front, see if they can pull us along, as we have Russell 7/10 behind us in his Alpine, and Verstappen in that Red Bull rounding out the top 5. As I was saying at the start, tyre wear numbers are pretty good through practice and qualifying, so we'll just have to wait and see how the tyre wear is in the race. We might be able to stretch out some of these stints a little bit longer, have fresher softs at the end of the race, maybe even a change to hards at some point. We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, if there's safety cars or virtual safety cars, that will also affect tyre wear as well, which could help us out heading towards the end of the race. As we circle around the end of lap 2, Schumacher goes fastest, Bottas goes faster, and then I go even quicker. Purple through sector 3, a 1:17.8. We now currently hold the fastest lap of the race. A little bit of a slide there, took the corner a little too tight. We managed to hold on. We're still clinging on to the DRS of Bottas, or at least we were. We go a little bit wide heading to the second to last corner, and we are out of DRS range, so it is all ERS now, as we are 1.2 seconds behind Bottas, and Verstappen and Russell behind us are battling it out. Verstappen here looking to make a move on Russell, and he does so with relative ease, moving up into P4 on his way to claiming my 3rd place spot, looking to claim some more points of this race after his 2nd place finish last round in Bahrain. We have managed to claw back some time to Bottas, and we have tightened that gap right up at that corner there. The AI usually slowing down a little bit more than you'd need to at that corner, so I can gain some good time there, but through that downhill right-hander I lose more time to Bottas. A little bit of a cheeky cut through the chicane there, Gets us right behind Bottas. We might be able to make a move here, heading down into the left-hander at the bottom of the hill.
The officials are deploying
And
a safety car due to multiple cars being stopped on track.
so we now have a full safety car.
Strategy option.
Jeff has just told us Guan Yu Zhou out of this session, just as we were looking to make a move on Bottas. So we'll take a look here what happens. So one of the Williams cars just spins out and Zhou goes straight into the back and loses a wheel, but one of the Haas drivers, looks like maybe Mazepin, just manages to duck through all that wreckage. I don't know if there's any floor damage there after running over some of that debris, but just narrowly manages to escape there and come out the other side relatively unscathed by the looks of things. As we get ready to restart, Schumacher has slowed down a lot. A massive gap between him and the safety car, taking a move out of Hamilton's books, maybe slowing all the traffic down so that he gets a much better start. But Bottas, keen to that move, has managed to hold on to the coattails of Schumacher. We are still sitting P3 with only 3/10 behind Bottas. Not the greatest restart from us, but enough to keep Verstappen behind. And Russell 8/10 or 9/10 behind us in P5. So the top 5 hasn't changed much in the start of this race. Although in saying that, we have had 2 full laps of safety cars, we lose the back end a little bit in that right hander at the bottom of the hill, but managed to hold on to it through the chicane. We've closed the gap to Bottas again, only 5/10 to him now after we lost a bit with that slide. Verstappen still within DRS range of us, so we're going to be on a little bit of a DRS train for this lap, but we'll see how things go if we can maybe break that train and start to pull away out of the front. Alright, so medium tyres, getting ready in the pits. We have just been through about 2 full laps of safety car, so tyre wear shouldn't be too bad as we make a little bit of a mistake there and go off the track. Track limits warning, and that we end up losing about a second to Bottas there, and we give that second to Verstappen, who is now right behind us. He's less than 2/10 behind us, heading up to the chicane. Has a little bit of a look up the inside, but thinks better of it as Schumacher and Bottas pull away. Jeff letting us know tyre wear is not an option, so we're opting to stay out on the softs. Gonna try and stretch these out as long as we can as we go late on the brakes into the chicane, and we lose even more time now to Bottas. 2.3 seconds now the gap between second and third, and Verstappen is still right behind us. Only a couple of tenths behind as we go off the track. We rejoin Verstappen looking up the inside, and looks like there was a little bit of contact there. Yellow flag. Verstappen has now dropped back out of the top 5 as we take another look at that. So we went too deep into the corner. We came off the track, rejoined, and there is the contact with the front right wheel of Verstappen there, and it just sends him just into enough of a spin that he goes off the track, and that essentially puts him back in pretty much last position. As we take a look now, Schumacher next lap heading into the pits. Bottas now takes over as race leader. Schumacher the first to head into the pits, and it looks like some other teams are expecting some drivers in. AlphaTauri and Ferrari expecting drivers in. Nice quick pit stop there for Schumacher, and while that was happening, Esteban Ocon has had a engine malfunction, and he is now out of this Grand Prix, just being a nuisance on the track at the moment, holding up traffic until he can find a good place to pull off the track, as he does so a couple of corners later. As we go wide around that second to last corner again, coming past Ocon, who is still parked on the side of the road. We're now heading into the pits. Bottas already in, and there's a train of cars behind us. We've got Alpine, Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari all expecting drivers in. Bottas has already finished his pit stop and is heading out of the pit lane, so he will have a decent gap as we go on to medium compound tyres. There's a nice crotch shot of my engineer there. 1.9 second pit stop, a good pit stop there as Schumacher goes past us in P2, Bottas P3, Mazepin's ahead of us. We're exiting the pit lane and we almost get taken out by one of the Ferraris. I think that may have been Charles Leclerc, but he is being held up by another Haas, the Haas of, I think, maybe that one is Mazepin, or maybe that would be Mick Schumacher. I think, yep, Mick Schumacher, they're holding him up. We go off the track, rejoin right next to Gasly. So now Gasly is looking to make a move. We're currently P7. He goes up the inside, gets P8, but late on the brakes, a little bit of a lock-up, and we manage to gain that place back. And we also go around the inside of Mick Schumacher. And Gasly follows us through, so now we're sitting P6, Gasly following us in P7, Leclerc just ahead, as we are looking now to try and make a move on Leclerc. Only 4 tenths between ourselves and the Ferrari. Nikita Mazepin's up in P4, stretching those medium tyres out as much as he can. Probably looking to go for a one stop here as we try to make a move on Charles Leclerc. We've got DRS now. We make the move. He squeezes us to the inside wall. We managed to make the move stick
Good job. Nice
early on in that straight. And we managed to hold on heading into the chicane. So there's now P5 for us. Mazepin in that Haas's. He's going a bit slow, so we will try and make quick work of him so that we don't get held up too much. As we follow him up the hill now into this quick left-hander that the AI seems to slow down a little bit more than you need to. And we make quick work of Mazepin, who ducks back out and ends up slowing down Leclerc a little bit, which is good, keeps us ahead. Giovinazzi in the pits now, who was leading this race for a small amount of it.
10.2 seconds.
He is now in the pits. That now puts us up into P3 with an 8-second gap to Bottas. Schumacher leading this Grand Prix yet again, and we now have some open air in front of us. We've got 1.6 second gap to Leclerc. As we go purple through sector 1, we might look to go for a fastest lap this lap. These mediums have heated up nicely. We've got plenty of grip. They feel a lot better than the softs, and we've got no dirty air in front of us, so we could have a clean run here through the track, taking a really good racing line there. Sector 2 we go purple, just using every inch of the track to gain as much time as possible. This is probably the best lap I've ever done around this track so far. A good exit out of the second to last corner, and the final corner as well. Took that really well up to the line,
Managed to clear it up in time,
and we get a new fastest lap, a 1:16. We go 1.7 seconds faster than our previous best. But now the wheels have fallen off a little bit,
they are out of the race.
and we are now going slower through some of these sectors. So we managed to get the fastest lap, but we haven't been able to maintain that sort of pace and performance. As we take a look now at what happened to Yuki Tsunoda, and just an engine failure there for the AlphaTauri driver. Unfortunate, considering both AlphaTauris were in the points so far in this race. Could have been a good finish for them. As we take a look now at the front runners in this race, Schumacher still holding on to P1, Bottas behind him in P2. They're essentially running their own race right now, because there's no one really close enough to be able to catch up to them. as you can see, we're not even in the picture by this point. We are slowly gaining on them now. But behind us is another battle happening as Leclerc, sitting in P4, is now about to get absolutely smoked by Pierre Gasly in that AlphaTauri. A huge move there to gain P4 as he is now looking to claim a podium spot today. 5.5 seconds though behind me, as I have managed to close the gap now to Bottas to 1.5 seconds. So these two up the front, their little battle is slowing them down and is giving me a chance to gain some ground on them. Little change to the strategy, looking to come in 1 lap later this race. Lap 24 aiming to get to before we go into softs. The medium compound tyre is still feeling pretty good, so we'll see how we go. The later that we can go into the pits onto softs, the better. The last thing we want is to be running on worn softs at the end of the race. We kind of want to maximize our time on these mediums, and just to eliminate any loss of time on the softs at the end of the race. As Bottas and Schumacher now within range of us. We've got DRS on Bottas if we can maintain this gap on the final straight. Gasly, we've managed to pull away from Gasly by about 3/10. And an awesome exit out of the final corner. We've got DRS on Bottas, who also has DRS on Schumacher. Full speed, Bottas and Schumacher side by side down into the chicane. And we try to go 3 wide, but it doesn't work. Bottas can't hold on to first place. He just managed to pull in front of Schumacher slightly, but Schumacher manages to take the better line and get back in front. We go too deep into that chicane there, and we lose some time to Bottas. This is taking everything that I have to try and keep up with these guys right now. The only thing really keeping me in this fight is actually their fight that they're having. Every time Bottas tries to make a move, Schumacher slows him down, which essentially slows himself down, which brings me back into the fray. Gasly is also slightly gaining on us. He's now only 5.3 seconds behind. At this point in the last lap, he was about 5.8 seconds behind, so he is gaining on us slightly. But he has got his own battle with Charles Leclerc to contend with. Another run down here, down the back straight on Bottas again. We've got DRS. He doesn't have the pace on Schumacher this time, but we might be able to make a move up the outside here. We think better of it. He closes the door, and we decide to let him go. It is only lap 21. We've still got 13 laps left. We don't want to... Is it 13 or 12? 13. We've still got plenty of laps left anyway. About a third of the race still to go. And we make a mistake there, and that allows Bottas to take off.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
Okay, so the pit window's coming up, but these mediums are still feeling pretty good. So we might hold off on the softs for now. Schumacher and Bottas going at it again. Bottas takes the lead momentarily, but Schumacher again closes the doors. We take a look at the tyre wear on these mediums, relatively low, considering we've been on them for about 11 laps now. And with only 11 laps left, we're only halfway. We could probably take these to the end of the race at this point. So we will just monitor the tyre wear as we go wide, trying to make a move on Bottas. But we managed to stay within a decent gap to him there. We'll just maintain our pace, try and stick with these guys, see if they can tow us along, and we'll see if we can stretch these medium compound tyres out to the end of the race as we go wide through the chicane at both parts of the chicane there. And we lose half a second, or about 6 or 7 tenths to Bottas, heading down to the final couple of corners. We run a little bit wide onto the gravel, but not too much. but it does set us up well for the final corner. But we are out of DRS range for now, so it is all ERS. As we take a look, as Bottas and Schumacher still fighting it out, and thankfully their fight has brought us back into the fray yet again. But every time that we get close, we just can't quite make it stick. Another close move there on Bottas, but he just has a better exit every single time. Here's another time we go to look up the inside, but we're just too far back. We just can't do it. Those hard compound tyres they're running on now would be pretty much at their peak at the moment. My medium compound tyres, just had a quick look, sitting tyre wear number sitting in the mid-20s. So we could easily take these to the end of the race. But how quick they would be is a different story. But we might be able to handle these guys on their hard compound tyres as we look to make a move on Bottas here. We've got to have a good run out of the final corner. We've got DRS. But again, he's just got the pace to get out of the corners a lot quicker than us. He's now looking to make a move on Schumacher. He's moving early. Can he get in front? Oh, Schumacher brakes late. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there. Bottas loses it. We try to go up the outside, but we can't get the job done there, and we run wide into the chicane, which causes us to go into the gravel a little bit. So that little move there was probably the best chance that we had to get ahead of Bottas and in behind Schumacher and take P2. But again, we just can't get in a good position to make those moves and make them stick. And it is a 3-car race at this point, although Gasly is only 2 seconds behind. Bottas now making a massive move on Schumacher, using all that ERS by the looks of things, and he ends up finally taking P1. But he slowed down Schumacher. We are now looking to make a move on Schumacher, going up the inside into P2. We're now side by side heading to the final corner, and there's contact between the two Cross GT Racing drivers. Schumacher loses out. We end up taking P2, but what condition is Schumacher's car in now? As we take a look, he's got some slight damage on that front left, the part of the front wing, that little side panel. So hopefully won't be too much. He doesn't seem to be doing too bad, but at the same time he's also not doing great. He's now he's now 2 seconds behind us. So potentially some damage there done to the car. He may be going in to change his front wing, as we are now right behind Bottas, heading around the final corner. DRS straight, we're almost side by side as we head to the DRS point, and we make a brilliant move down the straight into P1, and now we are leading this race for the first time since we started, although we go wide. We're all over the place. Too hard into that chicane. We managed to stay ahead of Bottas. We're all 10th ahead. If he's looking for a move down the inside, we cut him off, but we go wide into the gravel, and he ends up taking P1 back from us. Gasly has also passed Schumacher, so Schumacher is now P4, and Gasly has now moved up into the podium positions as we drive up over the top of the hill. It is Bottas, myself in P2, Gasly P3, Schumacher 4th, and Leclerc coming up behind in P5, rounding out the top 5. What a battle we're having between these 5 drivers. 4 drivers and myself. Schumacher and Leclerc a couple of seconds behind myself, and Bottas having a hard fought battle now, as we have been for most of this race. Around the final corner for this lap, right up behind Bottas, we've got DRS now, and we're in an excellent position. That slipstream gives us that little bit of a boost we need off into P1. We are not quite side by side now. We managed to get ahead, and this time we get through the chicane nice and cleanly. Schumacher back in P4. As we take a look, he's now been overtaken by Leclerc. He tries to make a move back up the inside, but the Ferrari is still hanging with him. Brakes late. and gets the inside line out of that chicane and relegates Schumacher back to P5. So potentially some damage to the side pods, some chassis damage possibly to Schumacher's car, which is slowing him down. So we've managed to go from constantly being behind him as Bottas makes a massive move up the outside, and we look back, Schumacher in even more trouble now as Sergio Perez makes a move on him, and now he gets passed up the inside by, I believe, Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren. So Schumacher now back in P7. The car seems to be handling relatively well. Obviously a bit of extra drag now thanks to the body damage from potentially from when we had contact, or as I'm assuming that's when it all happened. So not a good day for Michael Schumacher now. It was a brilliant day earlier, leading most of the race. Now back in P7 as we make another move. We exchange P2 and P1 yet again with Bottas. This is a good back and forward battle we're having. Only 3 laps left in this race. Gasly still holding on to P3. Tyre wear sitting in the mid to high 30s. Plenty of leeway with these tyres to get us to the end of the race. We've managed to hold on and stretch out the tyres enough that we have set ourselves up in a good position to run right to the end on a one stop, as we're in the penultimate lap now. Bottas following along behind us, 6/10 the gap, a second gap between myself and Gasly as Mazepin lets us go past, and we get that move done at a very opportune moment, as now Mazepin has held up Bottas and Gasly, and it has opened that gap up to almost a second, which is exactly what we need heading into the final lap of this race. It is a 3-car race now. Myself, Bottas in P2, Gasly in P3. It's been a mighty battle all day between Cross GT Racing and Mercedes. Bottas and Gasly both within a second. Only 7/10 separating the 3 cars. As we head up to the long left-hander here, Bottas takes a little look up the inside. We go wide, giving some space for Bottas to work with, but he can't get close enough to make a move. And again, he's following right behind us. Gasly also following behind, keeping up. Any one of these 3 cars could cross the line first. It all comes down to who's going to make the first mistake, if any, heading up to the last chicane of the race, as we go a little bit over the curb and a little bit of a back end slide, which allows Bottas to come right up behind us. Is he going to make a move down the inside of the second last corner? He can't do it. He has to ease off, and gives us the space as we round the final corner here at Imola and cross the finish line for our first win of the season.
You've been great all weekend, thanks guys. Superb driving, that's the race win.
Round 2 of season 4, and we've managed to claim ourselves a win here at Imola.
They take the checkered flag then here in Imola in what has been another outstanding Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
P1 here at Imola, which we have wanted for a while now. I'm pretty sure in the last 2 seasons we've had a couple of small mishaps which allowed, or which meant that we ended up dropping quite a few points that we could have had. But we finally managed to put together a performance that gets us a race win. Unfortunately, Michael Schumacher relegated all the way back down to P9 after coming into contact with us. I'm sure there'd be a lot to review from the team for this one. As we take a look at the drivers' standings, we've managed to leapfrog over Daniel Ricciardo into P1. We're now leading the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher back in P12 with 2 points, which he gained today. And in the Constructors' standings, Cross GT Racing is now at the top of the leaderboard as well. Only a 3-point gap to Red Bull, and then 5 to McLaren. What a race this was. An amazing run today. Could have been even better if we hadn't made contact with Schumacher. I'm sure he will be a bit upset with us there, knowing that his team owner has essentially cost him a race win and a whole lot of points in the championship. But we'll move forward and try to make sense of what happened. A learning curve for us. Maybe in the next race we can work or drive a little bit better, so that we don't end up costing our team some much needed points in the championship. But all in all, a good result. We are now top of the drivers and constructors. It is only round 2, it's early on in the season, but it's always good to be on top. Gives us that little bit of confidence going forward that we actually can compete, and we might actually be able to take the title or titles this year. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought and what your thoughts are moving forward. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. And I look forward to seeing you all in round 3 of this season 4 here in F1 2021. Thanks for watching, guys.